Hi, everyone. This is Lawrence Watkins, and welcome to the Financial Juneteenth 5. These are my 5 favorite articles as it relates to Black finance, wealth, and business for today, October 23rd, 2020. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So the first article today is actually a podcast from Bloomberg Law, and Bloomberg Law has been becoming one of my favorite sites to get news information via their podcast. And today they had a podcast episode entitled "Did Ed Sheeran Copy Marvin Gaye's Classic Song?" And this case has been going on for about 4 years now, and it is finally going to trial in about 3 weeks on November 12th, I believe. So, for a little bit of background, Ed Sheeran had a song called Thinking Out Loud about 4 or 5 years ago, in which it seems to have sampled a piece of Marvin Gaye's 1973 soul classic, Let's Get It On. So Marvin Gaye's estate is suing Ed Sheeran for about $100 million for unauthorized use of the song "Let's Get It On." And Ed Sheeran's camp is saying something different. Is saying it's just a part of the normal creative process. And also, this case is maybe, I think, actually headed to the Supreme Court. This case is not headed to the Supreme Court. This is headed to district court. But it could eventually head to the Supreme Court for larger implications as it relates to music copyright. So one interesting thing about this case is, in just music copyright in general that I did not know, is when you copyright a song, oftentimes the only thing that's copywritten is the sheet music. So everything else that goes into making a song soulful, like the instruments, how they're actually played, and the background music and those types of things, is all boiled down to sheet music. Now, this is how things were normally done back in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. But eventually, music companies have started actually putting the recording into the copyright for an additional nominal fee. But unfortunately for Marvin Gaye's camp, the 1973 song doesn't actually have the actual live recording of Marvin Gaye singing as a part of the copyright. And because of that, Ed Sheeran is trying to differentiate his song versus that of Marvin Gaye. One other interesting fact is that because of COVID, when it comes to this particular case, there's a lot I believe the judge stated that he's not going to postpone this case anymore because he wants justice to actually be served, whether that is Marvin Gaye's estate winning or Ed Sheeran winning. But COVID is throwing a wrinkle into the plans as well, considering that Ed Sheeran is a British resident, and many of the witnesses are British residents. In addition to that, Marvin Gaye's estate is actually based in Los Angeles, California. And because of COVID and the restrictions of travel in the state of New York and other places, it's been very difficult for people to get back and forth. But in general, it seems like Ed Sheeran is still trying to play the waiting game to make sure that this case gets pushed back as far as possible. It's already been 4 years. While Marvin Gaye's camp is ready to go to trial and go to court. So the piece in general was very interesting from Bloomberg Law. I highly suggest that you read it, or you listen to it. It's about 15 minutes long, so it takes about half of the total time of this actual podcast that you see here. The next article comes from a site I came across today called Technically. Let me zoom in a little bit so you all can see it a little bit better. And the headline reads, Coded by Kids raises $1 million to launch One Philadelphia for a long-term inclusive tech pipeline. The program, funded by Bank of America, Comcast, NBC, Universal, and Linfitz Foundation, aims to work in communities of color to address diversity and inclusion in the tech and innovation space, and to deliver sustainable career opportunities. So this nonprofit was founded by a man by the name of Sylvester Mobley. Here's a picture of him down here. So that's Sylvester. But the initiative has raised $1 million from Bank of America, Comcast, and Linfitz Foundation to address diversity and inclusion in tech and innovation spaces in the city with long-term solutions that are quote unquote designed to deliver high quality, sustainable career opportunities for communities of color in Philadelphia. Coded by Kids was founded in 2014 by Sylvester, and it offers young people software development, digital design, computer science, and startup-focused education programs. So a part of this strategy, there are three strategies at the heart of the initiative, the organization said. One is creating an integrated tech education. Two, skill development and experiential learning ecosystem that targets high growth and opportunity careers. And then three, building infrastructure needed to support the integrated ecosystem. And I guess this might be number four, or I don't know if it's number four or number three, but this last piece is changing the way underrepresented Philadelphians look at tech and innovation to change the culture of the city. There's a quote in here from Sylvester Mobley. He says, "We're trying to address systemic inequality or inequity. It's not a 12-month program. People have to be willing to dig in for the long haul. It's a long-term initiative, and it will happen over the course of many years. It's something that hasn't been done in Philly so far, and we have to get people to buy into it and have to look to long-term outcomes." All right. And to end the article, actually, there's a couple more quotes before we end. One more quote or piece of the article states about this being part of a larger initiative by Comcast. So this One Philadelphia program is a part of the $100 million commitment to fight injustice and inequality. And the Linfitz Foundation has the funding supports its commitment to finding solutions for life-changing impact in Philadelphia for years to come through strategic investment and fostering collaboration. To end the article, Sylvester has another quote. Sylvester says, "People often say the system is broken. And what I try to point out is the system is functioning exactly as it was designed to drive inequity. Part of that design was intentional disinvestment. You can't fix disinvestment with disinvestment. The only way we'll fix it is funders committing to long-term sustained funding." So if you're a kid or you live in Philadelphia, this may be something to check out. So Coded by Kids, shout out to Sylvester Mobley for starting this organization and growing it. Actually, I'm going to move these articles around. The third article today that I would like to speak about is about Ford Motor Company in the city of Detroit. So the article headline reads, "Our world needs more Black attorneys. New program aims to shake up lack of diversity." So in an era defined by the death of George Floyd at the hands of police in Minneapolis and the peaceful protests and even some riots nationally that followed, some teenagers see the issue of police brutality and judicial system fairness as personal. So there's this there's this new program in an effort to encourage racial parity and diversify the practice of law. Ford Motor Company and its charitable arm, the Ford Motor Company Fund, have collaborated with the Henry Ford Learning Institute to create the Ford Law Career Academy. So that's a lot of Ford Motor Company and Ford. So this shows the power of wealth and financial legacy. Ford created his company back in the early 1900s, and basically the whole city of Detroit seems to be named Ford. But I digress. Back to the actual article. The four-year program will begin at Taylor's High School in December with a goal of expanding to University Preparatory Academy in Detroit in 2021 and perhaps nationwide. Only 5% of all lawyers in the United States are Black, according to a 2020 report from the American Bar Association. The percentage has remained unchanged over a decade, while the African American population is 13.4%. At issue, the thinking goes, is that children who grow up in working class homes are rarely exposed to lawyers or ideas of working in a courtroom. The founding member, I guess the person who founded this, is a man by the name of Bradley Gayton. Bradley has a quote in here. He states, all too often, I hear that a company is committed to diversity, but there aren't enough diverse, qualified candidates. We simply cannot accept that as a dead end. Inside our respective companies and industries, we must look to the root of the problem and put in the work to fix them. And that's a picture, I believe, of Bradley Gayton, who is started this program. Another person who's a part of this program is Allison Nelson, who works, I believe, at the Ford Foundation. This new high school law program will be an elective, just like music, art, computer science, Spanish, and German classes. Study will include negotiation, mock trial, and shadowing lawyers. It is designed for 30 students a year, starting in the ninth grade. And according to the National Bar Association, the number of Black law students has gone from 25% to 31% since 2011, yet the number of practicing lawyers has remained static. So shout out to this other program. So there are a lot of programs out here, to get your kids involved. We're going to be creating something probably sooner or later with the Black Business School as well that has more of a Afrocentric focus to it, I guess. I don't know exactly what to call it, but definitely a Black Power focus. But until then, please check out Coded for Kids, this program in Detroit. I hope to see some of these programs expand nationally. The next article comes from Afrotech in afrotech.com. And this article, the headline states, this CEO is behind over $100 million allocated to Black-owned businesses and HBCUs. And the man that they're talking about is Maurice Jones. Maurice Jones, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Maurice Jones is the president and CEO of the Local Initiative Support Corporation. And his company helped donate over $100 million to Black-owned businesses and HBCUs through public and private funding. And this was reported by Shop Black. Some of those organizations are Netflix, $60 million from Lowe's, and $40 million from Mackenzie Scott, who is Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. As stated by Jones, LISC is a community development finance organization that provides access to capital, grants, loans, equity investments, tax credit equity, affordable housing, and technical assistance to places like schools, healthcare centers, and organized groups. The LISC is now shifting their focus to what they can do to spread these funds out to those who need them. There's an end quote in here from Jones, Maurice Jones, that says, we're hopeful that we can provide financing for HBCU projects to help them get across the finish line. We're also going to try to participate in financings where they need a loan or someone needs another source of financing to make a deal pencil. We want to be a part of that as well. So this is another brother that we'll try to get onto the Black Financial Channel, the Financial Juneteenth channel. But it's good for our community to know not just the celebrities and athletes, but all other key figures who are making our economy run and who are making deals to positively affect the Black community. The last article today comes from Cannabis Dispensary. And let me zoom in on this a little bit more. So Cannabis Dispensary, and it states, Seattle's first Black-owned dispensary, Shawn Kemp's Cannabis, to open this month. So six-time NBA, this is the press release, six-time NBA All-Star Shawn Kemp, the legendary Seattle Supersonics power forward whose athleticism made the team a Western Conference powerhouse in the 1990s, is getting into the cannabis game. Shawn Kemp's Cannabis will become Seattle's first Black-owned dispensary with its opening on Friday, October 30th. Kemp, who is entering the fast-growing cannabis industry for the first time, is partnering with industry veterans Matt Sholin, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, and Ramsey Hamidi, two of the co-founders of Main Street Marijuana. Main Street Marijuana, the brand's three shops, have surpassed $150 million in sales and have contributed more than $55 million in excise tax. I'm not sure if that's since 2014 or if that's yearly, but either way, it's still, a fast growing business. Kemp states, my name is on the company and I have worked hard to bring Shawn Kemp's cannabis to fruition. I want to provide nothing short of the best selection, customer experience, and prices in Seattle. I have incredible partners in Matt Schnolin and Ramsey Hamidi. I apologize for butchering their names. I have incredible partners to make sure we deliver on that promise to our customers, who are our top priority. So this is interesting. I'm curious to know, this article makes me think, how much it's going to be Shawn Kemp's brand that made him an attractive figure versus his operational effectiveness and efficiency, and his skill set on that particular front. So we see this a lot with celebrities and entertainers who use their name, who allow others to borrow the celebrity's name to grow a brand. And I think this is becoming even more common from an ownership perspective. One of the companies, or I guess two of the companies that really stand out to me that do this well are both in the beauty space. One is Rihanna in her Fenty brand, where she partnered on the back end with a company that was very experienced in running beauty brands. And another is, I guess, Kim Kardashian and her sister, Kylie Jenner, as well, with their companies, where one party brings the celebrity, brings the audience, brings the influence, while the other party is working operationally to make things happen. So my goal, and one of the things that I would like to see, is for Black people to be able to bring both of those pieces together and actually vertically integrate over time. But until that moment in time is here, congratulations to Shawn Kemp for actually opening up his first dispensary. And hopefully there are many more to come in the future. So that's it. Those are my 5 favorite articles as it relates to Black finance, wealth, and business for today, October 23rd. Before you get out of here, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Financial Juneteenth channel. In addition to that, please let me know how you are liking this Financial Juneteenth 5 segment. Is this something that you would like for us to continue in the long term? And if so, please leave a comment and let me know. So until next time, you all be safe, be well, and be blessed. Bye-bye. Today's video is brought to you by the Black Business School. At the Black Business School, we don't help you just climb the corporate ladder, we help you build your own as well. We provide a culturally relevant yet practical education in all things wealth building at an affordable price. So no matter if you want additional freedom in your day-to-day life, you would like to leave a legacy of generational wealth behind to your family and friends, or you just want additional security and stability going into your golden years of retirement, the Black Business School has courses and offerings for you. So head over to theblackbusinessschool.com to learn more. Take care and see you in class soon. Bye-bye.